Are we good?
We are all set.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'll call to order the architectural review meeting for August 12th, 2026. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mayor Mark Fry,
Here.
Carol Lindhuber,
Here.
Zachary Lieber,
Here.
Kate Fisher,
Here.
Jeff Schaff,
Here.
and Tim Burns, the zoning administrator.
Here.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes of the July 15th, 2026 meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the July 16th meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next item is regulated sign app number 16-2026, requested by Joseph Linsky of Sign Vision for Kroger at 7545 Sylvania. Joseph, it looks like you're on.
Yes. Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here.
So this looks like it's just another one of the updates that you guys are doing around town for the different stores with the new logo.
That's correct. Yeah, it's for the pickup for the pharmacy. Has pharmacy and drive-through on it. They're channel letters, raceway letters that are going and replacing an existing sign.
Okay. Tim, there's not anything unique about this one that we need to know.
Nope, sign meets the sign code, no objections from the zoning department.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Joseph? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve regulated sign app number 16, 2026.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Thanks, Joseph.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
Next item is regulated sign app number 17-2026, requested by Patty Ibarra of Brilliant Electric Sign Company for Key Bank at 5604 Main Street.
Yeah, Patty's our permit expediter. This is Jeff Primus, Gardner Signs, 3800 Airport Highway, Toledo, Ohio, 43615. I will be, on behalf of Key Bank, we're requesting what we have submitted to the board, and I'm open to any questions.
Okay. This looks like it's signage over the ATM machine.
That's correct.
Okay. And is that replacing existing?
The placement is existing, yes.
Okay.
We will utilize existing structures that are there already in the ground.
Okay. Tim, anything that we should know about this one?
No, same thing. This is a replacement of something that's already there. It's a permitted sign and no objections from the zoning department.
Okay. Any other questions from the group? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
What's the number on the,
17-2026.
I'll make a motion that we approve 17-2026.
A second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Remember what we're actually talking about, Tom?
Okay, thank you.
The street lots that front of Brett.
Mm-hmm.
We got two pennies.
If you're on, can I get you to mute? Thank you.
Yeah, whoever $4 is mute.
Any additions for today, Kristen or Tim?
No additions.
Okay,
No additions.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
A second.
Thanks, Zach. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Great, thank you. We will move to Sylvania Municipal Planning Commission for August 12th, 2026. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mayor Mark Fry,
Here. Sorry.
It's, I was like, did I lose you?
No,
Um,
slow on my finger.
Carol Lindhuber,
Here,
Zachary Lieber,
Here.
Kate Fisher,
Here.
and Jeff Schaff.
Here.
And Tim Burns.
Here as well.
Okay.
Great. Thank you, Kristen. First item is approval of the minutes of the July 15th, 2026 meeting.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of the July 15th meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Great. The first item to consider is item number 1, special use permit 4-2026, 7-Eleven fuel station at 5800 Monroe Street. And this is a referral from City Council that was discussed last month. Okay.
Correct. This was
Is there
a
additional
table.
information for us this month to consider? It looks like it was tabled
there
for
were-
further clarification.
I think there were 3 major points, Jeff, that were brought up and looking for more information, further clarification, or further consideration on. Those 3 items were the 24-hour operation of the fuel station. The second was bonding of fuel tanks for future removal requirements.
Mhm. Okay.
And then a third was ingress, egress. I wrote it as alignment with the cue of the light to Alexis Road from both 7-Eleven and in this particular case, it was the fuel station.
Right. Okay. Is anyone here that can answer those questions?
Yes, Matt D. Wood representing 851 Alexis LLC, and the developer and owner of the Sylvania Marketplace.
Okay. Great. So do
Along
we,
with, sorry, Jeff, I just want to mention, we also have Eric Carter on the engineering side and Matt Colas from the transportation side with us as well. So if I
Okay.
can't answer something, I'll lean on them as needed.
okay, great. Thanks. So do we know the answer on the 24-hour operations?
Hi, Jeff. I can talk about that. And I just wanted to mention Tim and I had a Zoom with Matt. He was out of town for the last Plan Commission hearing, so that's I think caused a little bit of the confusion. But we've just gotten nothing but great cooperation and no issues on any of the requests that we've made. But I just wanted to touch base on the 24-hour operation because it's a little bit different than anything that's come before you guys since forever, I think. But there is nothing in our code for this zoning that prohibits it. What I would suggest and recommend the Plan Commission do is include it as part of your recommendation. And then also, I think a good way to perhaps alleviate some concerns, should there be any, would just be to say, so the special use, the granting of this is subject to an annual review, which is common in some of the other special use permits that the city council has granted, and does give some administrative oversight to the operation. But obviously that's for your consideration. But since this is kind of a little bit a newer request, I wanted to make sure I was here to answer any questions.
Leslie,
Okay.
may I chime in on that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so annual review could be an issue. I mean, considering we have a 20-year lease in place and we're going to make a $10 million investment here in the construction of a gas station.
That We do have that in place on the special use permit. I mean, and I don't know that.
That's just a
Plan Commission-
general condition of a special use permit. Okay.
Sometimes city council and the plan commission do enact those. Again, I don't know what, if the plan commission is going to do that or city council is going to do that, but just it's an option and something that we have done before.
Okay.
We've never revoked a special use permit that has that, just
Okay.
for your information.
Sure.
And Leslie, correct me if I'm wrong, part of that would be so that someone just doesn't change the operation of the business without us realizing that it has changed. Because if it's a special use permit for that specific instance and they
Correct.
decide to change
And
their
also-
business midway through
Right.
the year, we need to make sure that that still fits the special use permit.
Correct. And also just
I
to
can
be
understand
sure,
that.
yep, and just to be sure that it's not a problematic location. There's not a bunch of we're not having a bunch of issues there, which I don't anticipate, but it does just give the city some additional control.
So this is based on its location, though, Matt. Uh, this is a completely commercial corridor. There's no residences that I can think of. Even across the street on Alexis, it's a commercial corridor, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay. And do we know the answer to the bonding, any installed fuel tanks for future removal?
Yes, I believe, Matt, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but that's included as part of your lease. And also Matt has agreed to do some research, and if it's possible, he will get it. But it is also included as a lease provision that 7-Eleven will be will remove the tanks at the end of the lease term.
Yeah,
Okay.
let me just say, this is a 7-Eleven corporate lease, the largest convenience store operator in the world. They comply with all Buster regulations in the state of Ohio. They have double-walled fiberglass tanks, state of the art. So they're not putting in tanks that are going to be of any issue whatsoever. And they stand behind it, and they have obligations in this 20-year lease to maintain those and remove those if they ever should choose to leave the premises.
Okay. And then as far as ingress, egress alignment,
The traffic study was completed Friday and submitted to our service department for review. So that's ongoing, and certainly if you wanted to include a provision about that in your recommendation, that would just be completed and done in accordance with the service director's recommendation and approval. That would be fine. That's our normal process anyway.
So I can add, I did speak with Zach independently on this and to bring that conversation to light. He was the one that brought this up in the last meeting. So when we were discussing it, one of the clarities is that this is a standard thing that is reviewed at our engineering level. So if you recall, there was a fuel station in front of this board, I think about 8 months ago. And one of the hangups with that fuel station was the traffic study and the patterning. And ultimately, they could not meet the conditions that our engineering department had. There is a big difference in this particular location, and the property, the whole entire property runs from Monroe to Alexis. So it's a through lot, through property, and there are lights at both ends, traffic signals at both ends. And that in itself fixes a lot of the issues. Ultimately, what it's going to turn into is, do those lights have to change in any fashion to potentially another turning lane or timing of signals and things like that? That's ultimately, I think, what this traffic study will result in.
Any other questions for Matt or Eric or Matt?
So one of the things that I was curious about, Matt, is the current contract structure you have with 7-Eleven corporate. If they choose to sell this location, do the obligations for all of this go with it? That's one of the things that I was wondering about.
They would remain on the hook for the remainder of the initial term, which is 20 years.
Okay.
And they can't sell it to an unrelated entity without my approval.
Okay. Leslie, I'm just thinking about protocol. This was officially tabled at the last meeting, so do we need a motion to remove it, or how does just understand the rules of order here to make sure we're doing this
Sure.
properly?
I would just include in your motion that you're removing it from the table and then follow that up with what your new motion is. Does that make sense? Or you can do two separate motions. You can do a motion to remove it from the table and then vote on that, and then a second motion for the recommendation.
Oh, okay, let's take it one step at a time then. So otherwise, I'm going to get tongue-tied. So I'll make a motion to remove. Hold on, let me find it again. SUP 4 2026, and move it back into consideration. So remove the tabling of the SUP 4 2026.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, any opposed? Okay. So next would be then if you want to make a motion for a recommendation with any of the stipulations that Leslie suggested. So that would be the SEP annual review, and then in accordance with the service director's review of the traffic study.
Yeah, I'll make I'll give it a shot here. I'll make a motion that SUP 4 2026, that the Municipal Planning Commission recommend to council the approval of SUP 4 2026 with the following provisions. That any change in the operation hours be notified to the administration, that the bonding information from the tenant provided to the owner of the development, that information be provided to the administration, and that this recommendation be subject to the review of the traffic study for ingress and egress alignment for this particular project.
I'll make a motion a second.
Okay, I just have one question on that. We don't have to specifically spell out the SUP annual review because that's what we automatically do on an SUP, right?
No, I think that would be council call, right?
Okay.
You can make the recommendation. And then but council is the one that would ultimately decide whether or not to include that.
Okay, then I'm not worried
so
about that recommendation here. Council can take care of it.
Yeah, I'll let council think about that one. But I do want to amend my recommendation or my motion that any change in ownership from the 7-Eleven to an alternative, that the administration also be notified. So that's an amended motion.
Second the amended motion and original motion.
not including the amendment.
Is that clear enough for us for the notes and for, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Great. All right. Thank you, Matt and Eric and Matt. I assume that if
Thank
council
you.
approves this, we'll see you again for some architectural review stuff in the future. So
I
thank
look
you.
forward to it. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank
Have a
you.
good evening.
Thanks for your time.
All right.
Thanks.
Good night.
Okay, now that we have that taken care of, I think we got another interesting one here. So item number 2, ZA -1 -2026 Louisville title proposed plan development. And this is Millstream Development Company. Is anyone here from that for them?
Yes, Ryan Wamsher is on.
Hey Ryan.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. So this is for 3 parcels located at the south side of Brent, west of the intersection with King, to change from R1 to R1 PD. And we have some maps in here. So this is, it's going to be potentially 4 structures.
Correct. 4 structures, and then the one on King would be a 2-family with a common wall. You can see
Okay.
the dashed line if you can see that one. The
Yeah.
land right now currently is set up for three homes. I believe it's about 120 some feet wide the way the land sits now. What we're trying to do is put 3 homes fronting on Brent and then 1 2-family fronting on King. And in the packet that we sent in, or I guess the pictures that we sent in, the 2-family on King Road, very similar to even what's right next door. Something with that flair. We don't have exact architectural colors and all that stuff. I mean, we'd like to be somewhat harmonious, but there's a pretty big demand for this type of product right now, and we don't feel like specs are probably the way to go. It's probably going to be someone coming in and telling us exactly what they want. So I gave some examples of what we're doing. We've done it over in 12 Lakes in the village. I've got one over in River Tree over there off of Sylvania Avenue. But I'd say the biggest market for what we're looking at right now is probably at like the village at 12 Lakes out off of Mitchaw. And this will just provide us an area to give someone who doesn't maybe want to be quote unquote so far out.
Right. Okay. Any idea on size of these places?
I would say 1,800 to 2,500 square feet.
Okay.
And with the prices being 200 to 250 bucks a square foot plus the lot anymore, I don't see why these places aren't more than $500,000 a piece.
Right. Okay. Any other questions for Ryan about this? I feel like I drive by this at least.
I know the shingles are coming
4
off the
times a
front of
week,
it,
so.
and we're ready to get started. We're ready to get rid of the house that's there, but it's like, what are we doing? We're just kind of sitting still and kind of waiting.
Right.
But if you look at the drawing, it does show that we have some mounding along Brent Road, which we will also landscape, similar to what's going on along Parklands next door to us. We do have an agreement. I mean, it's a verbal agreement, but it's an agreement that I will live up to, and we're going to take care of it. And we're going to be putting, we don't know the exact number, but we're going to have 15 to 20 pine trees lining the south side of the property, between ourselves and Marble Cliff. They've done a pretty good job of landscaping so far, and we're just going to try and fill in some gaps and do what they kind of want to do. But they seem to be in favor of what we're trying to accomplish.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
Just setting purposes, this is just for the recommendation to authorize the change in the zoning, correct? This doesn't have anything to do with the architecture, anything else. Is that correct?
Correct. This is to allow it to be a planned development.
Yeah, I was 99.9% sure. I'm just double checking on.
So
Okay,
with a planned development, there is the ability to have architectural control within it. That is one thing that planned development has a lot of ability um, to know what's going on, what the
but,
end product is.
but is that administrative, Tim, or is that coming back to this committee?
Ultimately, it would be city council. So,
Okay,
so if the committee, feels that they want a very specific, I know there are drawings that were, they came in a little bit later, but, not drawings, there were renderings of
right.
facades. Um, Ryan could probably speak on that behalf, but I think, uh, I think if you look at those facades versus what he spoke about tonight, matching the neighboring properties, those facades they line up pretty close.
Yeah, I'm not particularly concerned about it. I'm just trying to make sure I understand the mechanics here. That's all.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll have to bring back the materials and get approved through city council before we break ground. Is that what I'm understanding, Tim?
This meeting is a referral back to city council. At city council, they will set a public hearing. Am I correct, Leslie?
Yes, that's correct. That's
Because
what I
it's the
was going
same
to
as a
say. And
zoning,
then at the
same as
public
a zoning
hearing,
change.
yeah,
Yeah.
at the public hearing is where you should bring all of the specifics, Ryan, and then council will include in the legislation like drawings dated, whatever, colors. That's where all of that stuff gets codified.
Okay.
Yep.
And that should be on the agenda for Monday.
To set the public hearing, yes.
Yeah.
I can tell you the expected public hearing date is October 5th, I believe, the first meeting in October.
Right. Okay.
Ryan, the only question I had was on the lot number 4 on the two-family residential coming off of King. Would that, being a two-family, would that be a cutout onto King, a one cutout or two for each unit?
Yeah, no, it is just one, and we
One.
put it, we put it as far south on King as we could, basically lining up with the side of the unit. But yes, it is just one curb cut there on King.
Okay.
That was per Joe Shaw, right? Yeah,
Okay, that
Joseph
was,
Shaw. Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
and on
So,
Brent Road, each would have their own cutout.
The actually 2 and 3 share one cut,
Okay.
and then lot 1 has their one cut to the far west. So
Okay.
there's basically 2 on Brent and 1 on King. But the
One
one
on.
on King
Okay.
is as far south as we could put it with still making sense. And we have some trees over there. We are trying to be as good as we can, holding on to the trees that are there because there are some nice there are some nice trees on that piece of property. So we're not saying what we're going to hold and what we're going to keep, but we are trying the best we can. The one way we know we can do it is for sure just one curb cut as far south on King to get around those trees. And next time you drive by, you'll see them now.
Okay. It looked like there was already one cutout currently.
Yeah, there's one up there. It is, and this one's actually it's going to be a little bit further. I hate to say it, but the one that's there is
Yeah.
a little bit further south of the one that we're going to put in by about 10 feet only, though. Only by about
Okay.
10 feet.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
so one thing with the plan development, referral or vote to council, all of the conditions that you just discussed, the entryways, ingress, egress to King Road to Brent, all of that is conditional upon the plan development approval. So it's a development design that includes essentially the exact layout that you're looking at.
And we're comfortable with it. And our buildings won't be as big as those boxes. They just won't be because those are huge, but they will fit within those boxes. We just don't know exactly far and back of how we're going to do it exactly at this point. But if you do the math on 132 by 56, I promise you we're not going to be filling that entire space.
Tim, question for you. I think I was reading it, but these are minimum of 1,200 square feet buildings, correct? Or units?
That's correct. We will be exceeding that though. We can't do what we want to do in 1,200 square feet.
Gotcha.
Again, the market is like if you drive out to the village at 12 Lakes off of Mitchell and you just drive in there and you go to the right, that's the new stuff that's going on. That's what's new. That's what's great. That's what people want. And it's basically the 1,800 to 2,300 square foot ranches done properly. And, this property being where it is versus way out where I am out there with the market that I'm in, this property is so much closer in that I think that will be one of our driving forces.
Okay. Do we want to entertain a motion here?
I'll make a motion to recommend back to council for the approval of ZA-1-2026.
Second.
Do we need to add as laid out to us, or that's assumed?
You could say as submitted.
Okay, that's great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Great.
We needed.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you. And gals, thank you very much.
Any additions for today?
No additions.
No
No
additions.
additions.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Great. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good evening, everybody.
Thank
Thank you.
you too.
Bye-bye.